I used to be a hardcore liberal.
Myself too, but they've gone way, way.
Yeah,
way,
they
way.
went over. Yeah. Well, once I realized what Hillary was about, I could not possibly vote for her.
Welcome back, Patriots. You got a good one here. This is a class study in why Trump's going to win. Why the Dem Party is just bleeding like crazy. You have the first guy up is he still calls himself a liberal, but you could see he is damn sure weaning himself away from it. He's more like an old classical liberal in the old sense. And he just can't understand the new liberalism. And then the lady after him, walked away. Once they nominated Hillary Clinton, she says, liberal no more. And we can see why they're going to lose. I mean, these are thinking, actually, I know this can be an oxymoron, but in this case it isn't. It's, these are thinking liberals, or, people that actually had there's still some functioning brain cells that could not take the insanity of the left anymore. You don't even want to call them liberals, they're the left. So, if you like these, street interviews, then you hit the like button and, the routine. You subscribe if you haven't already, and then resubscribe, because they keep on knocking off anybody that tries to tell the truth. And so you got to keep on resubscribing. And if you want to keep me out there, well, then keep me out there, go to my shop. The best way to do it is go to my website, badassunclesam.com, and just simply hit the shop button and get one of my designs. You can also sign up for Patreon there, but I'd rather see some people go to my Subscribe Star channel. I haven't put that button up on my site yet, but I'm going to do that shortly. Or if you just want to go to PayPal, you can contribute that way too, but if you can't do anything else, don't apologize to me for not being able to contribute. Pray for me. That's what you can do. So I want to thank you all for stopping by, and let's get to the streets. Victims of comfort kind of a deal. You grow up in comfort, then you look for things to bitch about. So the globalists will take the left and say, you're not really happy. There's things could be better. You're being taken advantage of. Instead of saying empower yourself, get out there and do it, become engaged.
Yeah, when you think the left, being a history major, I'm actually a big FDR and Truman fan, but I think Johnson stretched it too far.
Oh, sure he did.
He wanted to be bigger than his hero, FDR. And FDR said in some of those programs, FDR made a speech where he said, this can't become a way of life. I think FDR meant for some stuff to be knocked on the head after we got out of the
but he started the initial lean on government, you don't lean on yourself.
Yeah.
A whole program. Before that, black communities actually were more cohesive. They had there was more family units. They had their businesses were thriving within their communities. But when they came in and says, oh man, I'm sorry, you need our help because you're downtrodden. That's one, you're telling people that you're not good enough.
I think some things meant well, but they just didn't work. Well, good example. In my home state of Mississippi, we're 38% black. Okay, the black community in Mississippi is not engaged at all. And Jackson now has the 17th highest rate of AIDS among females because black men go out and fool around with other black men but don't use protection, and they go home to their wives. You think about in the height of where AIDS was hitting white guys in the 80s and early 90s. White guys weren't spreading AIDS to white females. They weren't.
Right.
But the black community is.
Yeah.
And it's not about not being educated. It's just not taking time and giving a shit. And the females bear responsibility for this too. Make the guy wear a goddamn condom.
Yeah.
Make him.
Yeah.
He doesn't get anything if he does.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand it. Like in my hometown of Jackson, Medgar Evers was gunned down in 1962 for being basically being head of the Mississippi chapter of the NAACP. Black people in Hinds County don't vote at all. At all. I'm like, I can't understand it. It's like, and on the left, I'm left, like I said, but I think the left is making themselves some dangerous partners. Like a friend of mine that's a college professor at USM in Harrisburg, he was bitching years ago that Europeans weren't respecting Muslims. And you remember when the Muslim guy, was it in Denmark, that stabbed and killed Van Gogh's, an offspring of Van Gogh, because he drew a cartoon about Muhammad? Well, they said, well, you got to be respectful. I said, no, even if it's disrespectful, in Denmark you have a right to do that. And the Muslim guy doesn't have a right to stab you. People make fun of Jesus here and we don't go stab them. If people make fun of Jews here, Jews make fun of Jews. People don't go stab them. That's not acceptable. And last time I was in London, there's a whole pocket that's Muslim. And in Hyde Park, you got Speaker's Corner where you get up and speak about anything. You and I could do it. It was mainly Muslims bitching about how awful Great Britain is. Well, Great Britain lets you say that. You couldn't say that where you were from. You'd be dead.
Thank you.
And I think Britain has got themselves in a mess. It's like a big mess.
Well, thank you. Well, you sound to me more like the classical old liberal that I remember, because the new liberals, I don't even call them liberals, they're leftists.
Yeah, they made liberal a bad word. And I always tell younger friends, liberal used to be a decent word.
Well, it did. Well, I used to be a liberal because the things that they would stand up for, like free speech, allowing other people to, to believe and do what you want, right? Without, as long as you're not hurting somebody else. Well, those things have been pushed out of the way. Now it's like the left stops free speech. We're talking about not just, women's rights, we're talking about fantasy.
Some left people wouldn't like you here. I might agree with you when you say, but I like you here. It's your freedom to do so.
Well, as I said, you are an old classical liberal.
Yeah.
That's gone. Yeah. They left you behind, pal. You're gone. I mean, even Joe Biden's trying to pretend he's Cortez right now. They're gone. You're gone. You've been taken over. You've been pushed out. Now we're looking at radical leftists, not liberalism, radical leftists that have taken over the liberal agenda.
Yeah, the Democratic Party went wrong, I say, after Carter, especially when they forgot the blue-collar guy that was the bedrock of the Democratic Party. They really forgot that and became an elitist party. Hollywood, and I love Hollywood in New York, but those people started being the mouthpieces. And like even with the Kennedy family, I tell young people that don't know, I said, you do realize that JFK, if you put JFK's beliefs next to Teddy's, they're far different. JFK was not a far leftist. He was a World War II vet. He was a Cold Warrior.
I mean, JFK would almost be considered a moderate Republican today.
Yeah, I think he would.
I mean, that's
he was for cutting taxes for corporate. He believed.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The left has gone so far out about open borders, the Green New Deal. That doesn't even enter into the equation.
Well, first of all, the Green New Deal. I believe in helping the environment, but the Green New Deal is a waste of everybody's effort and time. Well, get on something else.
Global warming itself is a political tool. It has nothing to do with the environment. Nothing. CO2 is an element of life. It's not a pollutant. So to cap CO2, that's a way to go ahead and reduce our energy consumption. If you reduce our energy consumption, you control us. So, everything has been skewed into a big lie, and the left has bought into it. So you got to know, I'm sure you're reevaluating yourself all the time.
Well, there's usually no one for me to support.
Well, that's it.
I wish there was a third party that would come about.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If things have moved left, I'm saying the right now is more. They have actually absorbed the old liberal values. They're the ones expounding free speech. They're the ones where, they've always been involved with personal rights, but they're the ones that expound more of the liberal values I used to look for than the left is
There's a
doing.
lot of people that switched over
Yes.
during the 70s.
I mean,
and
look
80s.
at hashtag walkaway. You're familiar?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because people like you and myself went, I can't go there. I can't go there. I'm leaving. I'm good. Bye-bye. And so, and that's it. I mean, I would love to see the old liberalism come back.
I just don't see it, man.
But it
like,
ain't gonna
last time with
happen.
Hillary, I was like, basically I was voting Democrat. But I was like, man, she's such a horrible choice.
Yeah.
She had been beaten by Obama.
Yeah.
She wasn't well liked in the party. Now the difference is, and I know somebody that's chair of the Democrat Party in Mississippi, which is nothing now, right? But he's met them both, and he said, if you think he's a scoundrel, Bill Clinton has a personable side that Hillary does not have. I've met Bill Clinton. My mother lived in Hot Springs for 15 years. You can't, even like the Bushes, you can't help but like Bill on a personal
Yeah, he's
level.
just
Hillary
a
is not
good
likable.
old boy person.
She's not likable.
Oh, she's horrible.
And they actually have a horrible marriage. They married for
Yes, political purpose.
political purpose.
Yeah.
And they said they were talking about a Cold War. When she lost the election, she said Bill was furious with her whole team. He told them to campaign in the Rust Belt. He said, I won twice. They wouldn't listen to him. They would not listen to him.
But you got to remember that his personal side was evil, though. I mean, I've talked to, but the man raped women.
Oh yeah, I think he was a sex addict. He wasn't an
He was a
alcoholic
sex
drug
addict.
But I think he was.
He was a sex addict.
One comedian said, this is so true. He said, JFK and Bill Clinton both may be sex addicts, but he said you got to admit JFK had better taste than women.
Yeah.
All his women were good looking.
Indeed.
And do you know Trump and Hoover and JFK are the only three presidents that didn't accept a salary? They just put their salaries into charity. The Kennedys were actually big. About around that time, Eunice Kennedy started the Special Olympics, but the Kennedys were big with retardation and stuff. Because I do think there was a responsibility with those old families to put back. But hey, it's a pleasure talking to you.
Oh, it's always fun talking to you, man.
I used to be a hardcore liberal.
Myself too, but they've gone way.
Yeah, they went over. Yeah. Well, once I realized what Hillary was about, I could not possibly vote for her. So really, I mean, I look like I'm actually an independent.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, but I'm talking to a lot of liberals now that are just, they can't vote for him, but they can't vote for anybody on the left now either. It's like that, they can't understand the Green New Deal. They can't understand the open borders. They can't go.
Yeah. They don't understand what the big plan is.
Yeah, they can't understand infanticide.
Yeah, they can't understand the Bilderberg group bringing it up.
Oh well, they don't even know about the Bilderberg group. I mean, hell, most people don't. Speak to most of these people, they know the three branches of government. You start bringing up things like the Bilderberg group, it's like, woo, you way over their heads.
Yeah, as soon as you start talking about pedophilia and all the crap that they're doing. Yep.
Yeah, and if people knew the real truth, there'd be a revolution before the sun hit the ground today.
So scary. It really is. Well, you can't even. People are so removed from where we're at in the truth movement. And most of the people that are in the truth movement now are going full on Christian. So
Yeah.
because there's no other way.
But eventually it
what's
just comes
going on.
down, that's the answer, because it's like the only answer is that, I mean, because it is a spiritual battle. You get down to it and find out that this is indeed a spiritual battle, because when you look at the other side, you're going, well,
How further down can you go? How further down can you go? How much further down can you go?
Right, it's got to be demonic. You
Yes.
cannot say that this is just, psychopaths and socialists.
Yeah.
You got to say this is demonic, and if you come to that conclusion, see what's the opposite. So you go do it. So go do it. Thank you, sir. Here's a get out of jail free card from Hillary Clinton for you. So good for any crime in the world.
Nice.
Yeah. Check out my YouTube channel on the back. You can also get a lot of my designs and apparel.
Thank you.
And they come with a trigger back guarantee. If you don't trigger a liberal, you would get your money back.
I like it.
Have a ball out of
That's
it.
wonderful. I'm going to look you up. I'm actually going to start a YouTube channel too.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I know. I feel bad for Tommy. Is Tommy Robinson out yet?
Oh, yeah, but they're trying to put him back in. He's running for office now.
Good for him.
And I think they've scheduled his trial because they're charging him again for what they've already let him loose for. But they keep on
Yeah, they can't do that
Messing
here,
with
but
them.
they can there.
Yeah, so they scheduled his trial for the day of the election. So, and then at the last I read was yesterday, he says that the people are something.
So are
about,
you selling these posters?
Oh yeah, this is all my work. They say also you can get these on apparel at my shop online. So
Nice.
I got the posters for me. Then you'd also get them online. You get them framed, and then you got to pay the freight here. But here you can just so it's nice, you know about Tommy.
It's exciting. I saw a great interview with him online.
He
I
does
really didn't know who he was when he went in. And then I don't know because I watch all kinds of stuff on YouTube. It just an interview came up with him, and I'm like, oh, that's Tommy Robbins. He's very eloquent speaker, and just
Very
what is he
forceful.
like an Irish community organizer basically? And they just don't like the fact that he's organizing, and pro Brexit and all this stuff. He's just very well spoken.
Right, and he speaks directly to the people.
What
that
did they actually put him in jail for?
Oh, it was when he was in front of the courthouse.
Oh no, I remember now. They were not supposed to be doing.
And all he was doing is reading a report that was already out to public. He was just reading that report. He was just reporting on the report that was already public.
Yeah.
On the street. They said, "They ain't killed this Tommy," and threw him in jail. And to Trump's credit, he actually sent our ambassador over there and said, "Hey, this is you don't want to do this." So, they originally put him for 13 months, but they let him out after a month and a half.
Well, I think a lot of people were twittering Donald Trump on that. I was one of the people that.
Oh yeah, there was. Myself too. Everybody was going, "Excuse me, but do something about this."
Say something.
Yeah, say something.
So how much are your Trump hats?
They're 10 and 15. This one's 10, 15, 15, 15. I get the summer version with the mesh, and that's 10.
As you can see, those are 2 votes the Liberals aren't going to get this year, or this next election. Yeah, they keep it up. It will be the biggest landslide for Trump the world has ever seen. Well, thanks for coming by. Remember, if you like it, you like it. If you care, share, and if you can, contribute. So God bless you, and I shall see you on the streets.